Do you hear that? Who are you?
Hello everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Has the Terror. I am Naim from Apocalypse Signal. Believe these stories or not, it's totally up to you, but there are some stories that have never been told. Whispers of true fear lost in the noise of the world. Our purpose is to listen to these whispers and reveal what they tell us. That sudden chill when we are alone, that isn't our imagination. That's the moment we realize we are not alone. Tonight's story is a century-old mystery from the Dhand, the ancient dark wetlands of Sindh from Pakistan. One of our own guy, Ali, has sent us a voice recording documenting a legend that has been whispering through the reeds for generations. It is the story of a boy named Haris, whose joy was a miracle until it became a beacon for something hungry. What you are about to hear is a journey through a maze of water and whispers. So now, sit in a quiet room and turn the lights off. This is Ali's story.
Water Walker of Keenjhar.
The story I share with you now comes from the Thatta district in the region of the Lower Indus. It's rooted in the area known as the Keenjhar Dhand, where there lies a village called Purana Gort. Adjacent to Purana Gort was another village whose name has been lost to time, or perhaps is seldom spoken aloud. This account was passed to us by a boatman, a fisherman who heard it from his elder brother. His brother witnessed the events as a young man and recounted them in a tone of wonder as one might share a miracle. That telling moved from brother to grandson, from grandson to the boatman, and from the boatman to me. I shall strive to present it to you just as it was conveyed. The incident occurred many years ago, so many that the boatman couldn't say precisely when. It's believed this tale is over a century old, perhaps older. Its age is uncertain, but its imprint is deep. At the heart of the story is a boy named Haris, though everyone called him Haris Pagal. He was young, but what made him unusual was his laughter, a miraculous, captivating sound that could melt any heart. People were drawn to him, yet Haris lived with his own solitude. He was what some now call autistic. He didn't easily mix with others. When children played, he would sit nearby, observing, and simply laugh. That laugh was so enchanting that the children would bring him berries, mangoes, dates, whatever fruit they could find just to hear it. Haris accepted these gifts and ate with delight, his laughter ringing through the Dhand. This went on for years. Even as he grew older, he rarely spoke. He just laughed. A beautiful, unsettling, miraculous laugh that those who heard it never forgot. But when Haris was about 10 or 11 years old, something shifted. One morning, he simply stopped laughing. The boy who once filled the air with joy fell into a deep, unbroken silence. When the other children noticed his silence, they would ask, "Haris, why don't you laugh anymore?" But he never answered. His friends grew uneasy. His family grew worried. Some wondered if he had simply improved, if his condition had faded. But if that were so, why did he not act like other children? Why this heavy, watchful calm? Days passed in this strange, suspended way. Then, something peculiar happened. Haris was sitting alone when he spotted a local businessman walking at a distance. Haris raised a hand and gestured to him. Curious, the man approached. "Why did you call me?" the businessman asked. Haris looked at him and said plainly, "You'll receive a great sum of money." As it happened, the businessman had been struggling to collect a debt from a creditor who had put him off for weeks. That very day, however, The creditors sought him out and paid him in full, a sum of 20,000 rupees, a small fortune in those times. The businessman was stunned. A cold azab, a feeling of spiritual torment and unease settled over him. How could the boy have known? A few days later, another unsettling event occurred. In the village lived a woman over 30 years of age who remained unmarried. By then, many in the village had begun to call her an old maid, and the weight of their words left a deep ache in her heart. One day, as she walked past, Haris looked up and said to her, "You will marry. It will happen soon." The woman sighed, yet within days, a match was secured. A good family, a kind husband. Her family grew uneasy. Haris used to laugh. Now he sat in silence. Was Haris seeing into another world? Was a Bala, an ancient evil, speaking through him? Then came a darker turn. Haris continued to sit each day by the field. One afternoon, a man returning from the market passed by. Haris gestured for him to come near. "Do you want a hug, Haris?" the man asked kindly. Haris stretched out his arms. The man bent down and Haris embraced him, but the hug didn't end. The boy's small arms locked around the man's waist with impossible shaitani or satanic strength. The man grunted, "Haris, that's too tight, let go!" But Haris didn't let go. The embrace tightened like a vice. The man's breath caught, his leather belt snapped with a loud crack. Though Haris was just a boy, his grip felt inhuman, crushing. Then blood began to trickle from the man's nose, his ears, and the corner of his mouth. The laughter of the nearby children stopped. It took 5 people to pry Haris's hands from the man's waist. When they finally pulled him away, Haris's face wore a smile, the first in a long while, but it wasn't innocent. This smile was cold, twisted, and full of something Maloon, cursed. After that day, Haris began to change. He grew thinner, paler. The robust health that had earned him his nickname seemed to drain away. Then, a strange incident occurred over the waters of the Keenjhar Dhand. The rains had come, flooding the lowlands. One evening, a man named Bala was out with several others. The moon hung full and blue in the sky, its light shimmering on the black water. Suddenly, one of the boatmen pointed, "Look, someone is walking on the water." In the silver light, they saw a figure moving toward them, a boy pacing calmly across the surface as though it were solid ground. It was Haris. He came close to the Kashti boat, stopped, and let out a horrible, distorted laugh. "Hey," he called, his voice unnatural. "How many fish have you caught? Give them to me." Before anyone could react, Haris seized the sides of the boat with both hands. With impossible strength, he lifted the vessel clear out of the water, then slammed it back down, capsizing it. The men spilled into the dark, gasping and thrashing. They watched as Haris turned and walked away across the water, disappearing into the moonlit haze. The next morning, a group went to Haris's house. His father was firm. "I kept my son inside all night. He never left." 2 or 3 nights later, it happened again. In the same moon-washed stretch of water, a figure was seen walking over the surface. It was Haris. Without a word, he waded to a boat, lifted it onto his shoulders as though it were a basket, and began to row the air. The fishermen tumbled out into the cold water. Above them, Haris laughed, a horrible grating sound, before hurling the boat aside and walking away over the black water. This happened 3 times. In desperation, Haris's father took him to a Siana, a wise man and shaman known to have insight into the unseen. After a long silence, the Siana spoke gravely. "It's too late. You can't keep your son here any longer. They'll take him," he explained. "An evil Bala has possessed him. It was drawn by his beautiful laughter. That pure sound drove it mad with envy. Since the day it entered him, the laughter has stopped. What moves inside him isn't your son, it's feeding on him." One night, Haris was wandering near the house with his brothers. Suddenly, in the deepest part of the night, screams tore through the quiet. When their parents rushed into the room, Haris was gone. The brothers stammered that they had heard a strange sound, and when they turned, Haris had vanished. They searched everywhere, around the house, along the paths, near the water's edge, but no body was found, no trace. Haris had vanished as though he had never been. Where did he go? Who took him? No one knows. The boatman who shared the story added that before the 1971 war, the family moved to the Sujawal area. After that, their trail grew cold. Perhaps if you searched, you might find them, but you wouldn't find Haris. Someone took him. Where or to what remains a mystery. This was his story. May you be well. Assalamu alaikum.
A chilling conclusion to a century-old mystery. It makes me wonder if a spirit can be drowned, something as innocent as a child's love. How safe are any of us in the quiet of the night? I want to thank the boatman who carried this story through the years, and also Ali for bringing the atmosphere of the hunt in our channel tonight. Now, if you have a story of an unseen grave or a figure walking where it shouldn't, send it directly to the Thursday Terror